Attention pro athletes. Want to secure your financial legacy and thrive off the field? Oakbridge Wealth Management, led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, is your dedicated financial planning ally. But don't take it from me. Take it from the Dallas Cowboys' Tyler Biadasz. He says, Chris set goals financially and has been incredibly impactful in my journey in the NFL. Experience our customized, comprehensive approach, trusted by top NFL players. Don't leave your financial success to chance. Connect with Chris on Instagram at OakbridgeWM_Anicetti. That's OakbridgeWM_ANICETE, and let Oakbridge Wealth Management guide you across the goal line.
Bernstein again, big opening, pass 5, pass 10, Ermo's a man, and he goes all the way to the 15-yard line. 17 yards of the carry.
Welcome back to the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Dude, good. I'm a little bit scared because the man we have today used to beat me up in practice.
Hold on now. No, I didn't. we both used to go at it. We would go
at it. Dude, I have so many thoughts and about Alex Lewis, who I'm actually, dude, you made me into the fullback that I was because you were the best dude I went up against, and we practiced all day together.
Man, vice versa. I still remember, I think it was like camp, you know, that spring camp. I only had one spring camp at Wisconsin. I remember we were going at it in camp. And every time I hit you, I was like, this dude is a load. I was like, so, man, you helped me out. You got me ready for the Big Ten. I mean, obviously, the Big Ten back then was a powerhouse, coming downhill, fullbacks. And me coming from junior college at the time, you know, I was more of a sideline type of linebacker. Coach Kaz, he was like, you need to go downhill. And I didn't want to do it at first. But, you know, Wisconsin got a way of breaking you in and forming you into what you're supposed to be. And I became a downhill linebacker.
Well, I think that worked out for the best for everyone.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Maybe not for my brain, neck, back, but yeah, it worked out for the best.
It did work out for the best. All right. Well, before we get into it, I know it's going to be a love fest here. You know, I love his game. Bertie loves him, and I think I'm already going to love him in the 5 minutes we've been here already.
Yeah.
Got to remind you guys that we are presented by Bet Online, where they continue to be your number one source for all of your online sports wagering needs. You name it, they've got it over there at Bet Online. NBA Finals and NHL Finals in full swing. Baseball season, soccer, whatever your sport is, it's over there at Bet Online. Head on over to the website. Use your mobile device to sign up today. Use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Bernie, where do you want to start today?
I mean, I want to start with a young Alex Lewis. How'd you get into football? Like, what was that process?
That's a big story. First of all, even before we go there, man, I actually watch your guys' show. And I was like, you know, I put my little comments underneath, man, you guys have been doing a great job. And I mean, I'm the type where social media, I'm more like, look, go. And you caught my attention. I was like, oh, man, look, they got some people that I played with on there. You know, I saw like Calhoun on there, all them guys. And you guys been asking some good questions. So you guys, man, like, you got my attention, you know. That's why, and I'm glad you guys reached out to me, so I'm grateful to be on the show. But the young Alex Lewis, it's crazy the way I got into football. It wasn't a traditional way. I was actually playing backyard football, moved from Philadelphia to Jersey, and didn't have any friends. So I'm playing in the backyard. Everybody's like, man, you're pretty good. Come and play football. Never played before. I'm like, all right. So I went out there. Classic. Had my knee pads and my thigh pads and my knee pads, you know, cup upside down, everything. Didn't know what I was doing. But we started doing hitting drills. And during hitting drills, like, I knocked this dude out. And the coach was like, all right, we like this guy. But the only issue was this. It was a 140-pound league. I was 150 pounds. So you talking to a cupcake eating, honey bun eating, Big Mac eating, Burger King, $2 $4 loving kid. Had to lose 10 pounds at the time. But So, but from there, man, the love as far as dedication for football started. Man, I remember jogging around the neighborhood with trash bags on to try to cut weight. This is before they had sauna suits, right? They probably did, but at the time I couldn't afford. Some guy was like, man, just throw a trash bag on and run around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this crazy kid running around the neighborhood with a trash bag on. They probably was going to call the cops. But running around the neighborhood, trash bag on. And this took around 3 weeks, and we had a weigh-in. I jumped on a scale. They said 140 pounds. Everybody's cheering, right? Handed my birth certificate. They was like, I'm sorry, you're a month too old. You can't play. It broke me. I was like, what? I lost all this weight. I'm crying. I'm walking home. I walked right to Burger King, got me a Big Mac. But honestly, that's where the love began. And then, of course, you know, that next year I played my freshman year. Was terrible at football. And but things really didn't click until like my sophomore year in high school. For some reason, like that last game, I was playing nose guard and DN. And something clicked, and I was just making plays all over the field. So the next year, they expect me to have a big season, which I started having the big season my junior year. And what happened was it was in October, going into the playoffs. Came off the edge, stepped one way. My teammate actually ran into my leg and broke my femur bone. So the whole femur bone cracked.
Whoa. No, your femur.
Femur.
That is
so
the hard.
Not only it was like, man, you could have
break in the
died.
human body.
Yeah, it was the biggest. They said it was the worst injury in South Jersey history. And I mean, I'm holding my leg. My leg is like dangling, like one of them YouTube videos. The legs are dangling, like literally this big, I still remember his name, man. Great guy. His name was Joe Cicali, Polish guy, huge. No, I'm sorry, Italian, huge. Joe Cicali ran into my leg, and it was broke. Like I was holding it, and it was just bouncing up and down. And so from there, I went to the hospital. They said I would never play football again. That's the first thing. They said I would probably have to wear a boot, one of those medical boots, because what happened was it was around the growth plate area. So, you know, if you're young and you injure that area, like the one leg won't grow the right way. I was fortunate enough where I had a great surgeon, still have 2 screws in the leg, but for some reason, man, I had this in my mind, like I'm going to play again. So I remember coming back, I was actually on my couch at home, and I started doing like it's crazy, I was doing this by myself, little strength and conditioning exercises. Like it was a Rocky movie or something. So I'm just tensing my leg up and relaxing, Then from there, which I never really told anybody this, I became the water boy of the basketball team. Now I had an idea about this. Now listen, I'm doing rehab, right? Doing rehab with these regular rehab people, but I was like, well, maybe I can get on the basketball team and be a water boy, but at the same time kind of train with them a little bit. So being a water boy, and I would ask my teacher, well, he was a teacher / coach. I was like, can I try to do things? He was like, go ahead. So I'm here just doing lateral shuffles. Then all of a sudden, like I'm limping and I'm running. And they're like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this. But the difference between a break and a torn ligament, a break, when it heals, you can go. That ligament takes a little bit more. So I had a break, and I'm like, you know, I just kept pushing it. And what's crazy was I broke my leg in October. And then you can actually look at the record, but in May, I won the states in track and field and discus and shot put. I broke the school record and everything. And everybody's like, how did you do this? So, man, it was just, you know, you just never know, man. And I just been one of them guys, man, where when an obstacle came, I just kept moving. So then, you know, from there was all conference and everything. Going into my senior year, I played pretty good, but I was actually going to quit football. So, Matt, you probably would never have met me. My senior year, I actually quit football, and I was going to go to a junior college. My grades weren't right at the time. So I was going to a junior college all the way in Barton. It was called Barton in Kansas. It's like a junior college for track and field. But I played in a game in New Jersey called the North-South game. North-South game. There's a big game in New Jersey. And all these guys had big full rides to all these colleges. and I balled out. I played good. And I'm thinking like, man, I tried to go to Rutgers here, but obviously my grades were good, but I still wasn't getting any looks. So someone told me you might want to consider like trying football. I got this small letter. Small letter. Now I've got all these other letters. I got this little pamphlet from a small junior college in upstate New York. Shout out. It's called SUNY Morrisville.
Yeah.
So SUNY Morrisville, I was like, man, I went to the computers before your guys' day. AOL came on. I'm in my high school library, and all I saw was a football team, and I was like, I'm going. Didn't know anything about SUNY, upstate New York, horses and all that. But the college coach at the time, his name was Terry Dow. He wound up going to a different school, but he was recruiting players all the way from Florida, like great players. Like I played from a school, it was called Belglade, Florida. Those guys are phenomenal athletes, man, out in Florida. So he recruited a lot of the players from there that weren't going to D1. So now I go to this school, I'm playing with like D1 players. This upped my game. And so from there, first year, keep this in mind, I never played linebacker in my life. I was a DN nose guard. So now I'm going from that to playing linebacker. I'm just an athlete running around, didn't know strategies or schemes or anything, right? But that off season in junior college, I studied like crazy. Studied in my dorm room. I studied tape, studied film. And that next year, man, I came back like a monster. I was studying LeVar Arrington, jumping over things. And so that my sophomore year in junior college, it was almost like a video game. Like I'm out there making plays and shooting gaps. And I finally understood, and I actually played a position that I was built for. So we were actually playing this big school called Lackawanna. It's a junior college in Pennsylvania. Yeah. They were a powerhouse. I wanted to beat them so bad, right? So we're playing them. I'm giving it everything I got, and we lose. I'm in the bathroom. I actually went in the bathroom. I cried, right? I'm out there crying. And my backup quarterback, he's from Britain. He comes in, he's crying. Another guy comes in crying, and because we wanted this game so bad. But then after I walked out of the bathroom, this coach came out of nowhere. He was like, man, you played a pretty good game. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Yoda. I try to blow him off. But he was like, hey, I want to offer you a full ride. And I was like, to where? He was like, Wisconsin. Still, I do not know who this guy is still to the day. He wasn't there when I got to the school. Don't know him. I got recruited by him. Don't know him at all. And I thought it was a joke till I was in my my team meeting that Monday. They was like, Alex Lewis is playing his butt off, and he just got offered a ride to Wisconsin. I was like, that's for real? And I'm like, so from there, I go on a recruiting trip. You know, I was with B. Will. Brandon Williams was on my recruitment trip. Who else was there? Well, probably Brandon was like the notable guy. You know, Brandon Williams. So I go there, and Coach Alvarez walks me in that house. You know the recruiting trip, right? You're hungry. They offer you a big cookie, and you're like, I'm eating the cookie. They give you a steak. I was having steakums before that, and I'm like, steak? You come off the bus and cheerleaders are cheering for you? I'm coming from junior college. We were cheering for ourselves. So I'm like, hey, Coach Alvarez had me at hello. He said, are you ready? Don't even say it. I'm ready. I'm ready to sign right now. So, but man, I wound up going to Wisconsin, man, and it was the best decision, man. After that, actually, Miami came to recruit, but my coach actually shut everything down, which I'm glad because I probably wouldn't have played at Miami. They had a great squad, but yeah, went to Wisconsin, man, and from there, you know, obviously, I was with the freshmen at the time, and then now we're in camp, and I see this big guy. Right? Matt Bernstein. I'm like, is he a fullback or is he one of like the nose guards? I'm like, so I'm like, man, I'm buttoning up all my chin straps, everything. So it was Matt Bernstein, and who was the one before you, Matt? He had a brother, Russ, right?
Russ Coons.
So it's these guys. I'm like, these fullbacks are huge, you know. So, but man, like Wisconsin got me ready for the Big Ten. Like being in practice, being with these guys, going downhill, got you ready for like playing Ohio State, playing Maurice Clarett, who became my teammate later on in the UFL. playing against Iowa and those guys, and just the squad itself, the intensity in practice. Yeah, I would never regret my decision of going to Wisconsin. You know, it was a great. It went from me cheering and us cheering for ourselves to I can't even hear myself cheer. I can't even hear a play on the field. That was one of the big shocks. And then, like I said, I never watched Wisconsin growing up, so I wasn't like a diehard Badger fan. So when I saw the jump around for the first time was actually during the game, and I was like, what are they doing? Why are they playing Cypress Hill? Like, so it was a culture shock, man. But at the same time, it was a great experience, man. And I would never take it back for the world, especially having the teammates, the coaching staff that I had there, man, it was a blast, man. It was a blast. I'm a mic hog, so I'm going to let you guys talk as well.
No. Listen, hog it as much as you want.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the OG transfer portal.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Like I said, it was ones before me now. What was the one guy's name from New York, man? He was a DB. I think we called him DB. He played in oh man, Donald.
I know who you're talking about.
Donald, but yeah, man. But he was like before me, so I used to.
But he was before me too.
Yeah. So, but
Donnie
guys
Brady,
like him, I would look to because I'm a transfer. Like a lot of obviously, like you guys have 4 years and sometimes a red shirt, but me, I'm coming into this system. I got to learn everything fast. The game is fast. Plays are different, more structured. You know, the environment is different. So it's like, I got to come in here and I got to get this thing now. You know what I mean?
Right, because you only have 2 years.
Exactly. There's no red shirt for me unless I get hurt or something. But that's was on my mind the whole time. And not just that, but then you got players, because I'm coming in, of course they want you to play, but you got great players. Remember Broderick,
Williams.
Broderick last night. Yeah, Broderick was a tremendous player from Texas. So I got a guy like him in front of me. Unfortunately, you know, he hurt his knee, which caused me to have a better opportunity of getting a start. But it's things like that where you got to come in and you got to play now. That's what they're expecting you to do. You know, so being a JUCO transfer, it's not always easy, but at the same time, they're looking to you to make a tremendous impact as soon as you get into the door, whether it's on special teams or in offensive defense.
Well, so Broderick was a running back when I started.
But yeah, exactly.
And he moved over, so they were missing because Bryson Thompson was the guy when I redshirted. He was the weak side line.
He actually mentored, Bryson's brother, who was
Donnell.
Donnell is kind of who mentored me during the summertime. I would work out with him during the summer, number 44 if I remember. But he would tell me like, "Hey, you need to do this," or he would drop little nuggets on me. You know what I mean? I think Bryson was he was already getting ready for the league or something like that, but he was actually coming back and like, you know, schooling the younger guys. And I was one of the young linebackers he would talk to and do drills with and help me to understand about defenses and so forth.
Dude, the guy you were talking about, Donnie Brady, right?
Donnie Brady.
Donnie Brady was a transfer?
Yeah, man. He was a transfer.
I didn't know that.
From Lackawanna, matter of fact, I think. From the JUCO.
He was a beast. I didn't know that. So he's the OG.
Yeah,
but to me, I didn't know. He was like, I only knew him after.
He was a cornerback, but he was one of the physical cornerbacks. Like, he should have been like a safety or a linebacker. Donnie Brady was a beast. And he had that athletic mindset like, I'm going to beat you. You know, he challenged me like during the offseason, man. Love Donnie Brady, man.
I do too. I never played with him. He's always a nice guy to me, but he is a specimen of a human to play corner. Yeah. He's a tall guy too. He's not a normal corner.
And I watch his highlights playing because he played in the Canadian League. You know, he did that for him. Yep. And then he played with Ray Lewis and them guys with the Ravens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, so what's it like? First off, who was the guy who was in your locker room saying, "Hey, come to Wisconsin"? Like, is that normal at a junior college?
Man, I still don't know who that guy is. All I know is the only other guy I remember making a visit was Coach Kaz. Coach Kaz came to my house, sat in my living room, and he asked me some questions. "You respect your mom?" I was like, "Yeah, my mom is right here. I ain't gonna
I just want to know what would happen if you had said no. Like, no, man. My mom, what are you talking about?
Respect your mom, you know. And Kaz would always chew that bubble gum, like he was just in the living room chewing the gum. And he just told me, we'll take care of your son. And Kaz did, man. You know how Kaz is. Kaz used to be like, I don't know why I brought you here. I don't know. But he was motivating me. You know what I mean? Like, he would play mind games like, oh, I don't know why I brought you here. I don't know. Next minute, oh, I love you. I love you. So it's like we had that relationship where I wanted to kill him, but yet, man, I like this dude. He pushed me to a level that I would never thought I would go to. And he got me ready for the next level because it was like that at the next level.
Dude, so what was it like showing up on campus? Like you went from a small junior college to now this ridiculously huge D1. What's it like when you show up to Madison?
Oh, Madison? All right, this is how it was. For one, I'm like, everybody out here got scooters. Like, I'm looking around, I'm like, I got to get me a scooter now. Like, but I didn't understand. I'm like, these dudes riding scooters in the winter as well. I'm like, hold on now. I'm like, but I mean, just the campus itself, so when I got drafted, had my little draft party, I brought my buddies on campus and they can attest to this. Madison is almost like a college movie, man. Like the campus is so small. I actually live by the University of Michigan. And, you know, like I said, nothing against Michigan, but it doesn't have anything to me on the Madison campus because everything is just so easy to get to. You know, everything is like something's here, there. You don't have to take a bus and go all the way around an hour. It's like everything is in walking distance. And then, you know, we got State Street. They have their main street in Michigan. And I got to be careful because I still live in Michigan. I might get some notes on the door. But, you know, our State Street is like no other. We got people that travel from all around the country just to come there for Halloween. You know what I mean? So Madison's a different campus, man, as far as, man, it's almost like things you've seen as a movie growing up as a kid of how college would be. That's what it was. And as far as just the Camp Randall, I mean, you go in there. I got to actually be a fan and actually be in the stands. And I was amazed myself. I was like, wow, this is what it's like being in the crowd. My kids were there. You know, they were doing the jump around and the waves. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, you know, we're on the field and we're zoned out. Like, I was so serious because I'm like, I need to make it to the next level. But it's like I never sat back and soaked it in. It's like, wow, look at this crowd. You know how it is going through the tunnel. Everybody's patting your back and, you know, before you go out there and it's hype and it's like, man, this is hyping me up. I didn't even get that in the league. You know, the league is like you walk out, you know, people aren't as much as hype. The stadium is like real wide so people can't get to you. Like the college atmosphere, I mean, I remember playing against Iowa and going to Iowa, they could basically touch us, you know, and it's just like, so it's a different environment. Madison is it's an environment where when you're a Badger, they're going to show their love for you. You know what I mean? You're going to hear the crowd, the roar of the crowd. And you want to talk about, you know, restaurants. I don't even know if they got Nick's still. They got Nick's still? Nick's still there?
I don't think so.
You remember that breakfast place they used to make the scramblers?
Yes, it's gone. That place isn't there anymore.
Oh, my goodness. They need, for like $5, you go in there and they give you a 10 egg omelet with potatoes and that thing it'll fill you for the whole day. Then they had this Kool-Aid. I don't know who was making Kool-Aid back there, but it was just.
If you went with Erasmus, it was like $3, and I don't know. I just remember going there with Erasmus once, and the owner would come back. He's like, "Oh, whatever you guys want, it's like $4,
yeah,
$3."
Exactly. You know, we're
like,
college,
great.
We're college kids. They gave a big old scrambler. He's like, this is the scrambler. I'm like, man, I love that place. But, you know, things like that, man, it's nostalgic. You know what I mean? Like things that I remember. But the campus life, like I said, I enjoyed myself in Wisconsin. I have no regrets there. Wisconsin treated me like no other. Everything they said they were going to do, they did. As long as the thing about it, especially on campus, man, and I say this even for a student athlete, we both could attest to this. They gave us all the tools we needed to succeed on the field and off the field. Whether in the classrooms, you know, they gave us the counselor that were needed. So if you went there and as far as you not getting that education that you needed, a lot of it was on you. Just being, I went from being in junior college to having to do everything myself, you know, having to buy my own cleats. So when I got there, people were complaining about the cleats and this and that. I'm like, do you know I had to buy my own stuff? You become grateful, so you're not a prima donna. You know, everything you get. I mean, we got a TV for the bowl game. I'm like, we get a TV? Like, we win this game, we just, we go to Ponderosa. Like, here, like, they giving us steak and stuff. You guys don't know where I came from. You know what I mean? But I appreciate my grind because my grind made me who I was when I got to Wisconsin, and I was hungry. Like, I wasn't a big, listed player that was top 10 draft, all this stuff. Nah, I was a guy who had a dream, and I was willing to grind and do whatever I needed to do to get to the top. You know what I mean?
Wait, let's dive into that, because what I remember about you showing up is your work ethic was through the roof.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about this while we were like, oh, Alex Lewis is coming on. I'm like, what speed was this man even doing? Like, what? It wasn't practice, or it was. Dude, you practiced that game
one speed, baby. One speed.
One speed.
And I remember I used to get in trouble all the time.
Matt Perkins, if we were in just helmets, if we were in just spider pads, if we were in nothing,
one speed.
This dude was going, what? Hey. I remember just coming to practice and I'm like, I got to block this guy power with no pads on because he's going to go 100%. And I got to do what I got to do.
Hey, AD used to get mad at me all the time. He used to be like,
all the time.
Like, what are you doing? Lex, come on. But hey, that's what got me from junior college to Wisconsin, from Wisconsin to the league. Then I had to tone it down in the league because I didn't want to get cut, I had to tone that thing. I didn't want to
was that part of your just way you operated? Like, were you doing that in high school, college, JUCO?
Yeah, if I felt like if I played the way that I practiced, I was going to play in the game that way. Now, some people are different. Some people are gamers where they can turn that thing on in a game. Me, I had to do it psychologically, where it had to be on all the time. Because, like I said, I felt like if I wasn't going all out here, it would affect me on the field. So I had to turn that thing up. And I feel like if I practice game speed, so when it's the game time, I was ready for it.
Dude, you got everyone practicing game speed. I can't say I appreciate it because it was, dude, hitting you was hard, man.
You too.
Listen, don't take this the wrong way, but I liked hitting Broderick.
Running like a gazelle out there and run you over like a Mack truck. I remember this one time we hit each other like during spring camp, and it's like we both just stalemated and just went to the side. I was like, Dad, I got to get up and do this again. I was like, run the play again. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, don't run it again, Coach. Put in Greg Root or put somebody else in.
Greg Root.
Oh, yo, Greg, you're in for this one, buddy.
Yep, good times, man.
Wait, you showed up in 2002?
2000, I think it was like 2002. Yep, I played 2 years.
Was it fall or was it was in the spring or the fall?
It was in the fall. So, I came there obviously like during the summertime to kind of to get, obviously we had like the getting ready for the camp, and I was in the Regent. So then we had the training camp at what was that church
at the seminary.
The seminary, yeah. Which once again, it's a culture shock for me. I'm from junior college. Ours was like, I don't know if you saw that junior college TV show.
Last Chance U.
Where they're in junior. Theirs a little bit better, but mine was like, man, we on like cornfields and we're in dorm rooms, the beds, you know what I mean? Like the springs, you can feel the springs in the bed. Then I'm going to the seminary where, man, we got like, you can come downstairs and grab a Gatorade and eat some beef jerky and some gummies. I'm looking like, this is us for free? Do we got to pay for this? Like, I'm asking questions. Like, I don't want to get in trouble, So it was, like I said, it was a culture shock, man. But it was a great time.
Attention athletes. Do you want a frictionless and tailored financial planning experience to secure your future? Well, look no further. Introducing Oak Bridge Wealth Management, the premier financial planning firm for professional athletes. Led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, Our team provides a unique and comprehensive approach, ensuring your financial success both on and off the field. We understand the unique challenges you face as a professional athlete, from managing cash flow habits to planning major business purchases and navigating complex contracts. That's why we've developed a proven process, working closely with our strategic partners to provide seamless solutions for your unique financial journey. Our services evolve with your career, offering short, mid, and long-term goal setting, portfolio optimization, real estate investments, and more. As you transition to life beyond the field, we support you with career development and philanthropic ventures. But don't just take our word for it. Top NFL players like Chase Boulier, Tyler Biadasz, Alec Ingold, and more trust Oak Bridge Wealth Management to guide them towards financial success. Troy Dye of the Minnesota Vikings says, "I really love the work that Chris and the rest of the Oak Bridge group do. I especially like the honesty and transparency when it comes to setting up financial goals and plans that best fit my needs and situation. It's time to elevate your financial game plan. Connect with Chris on Instagram at oakbridgewm_Anicete. That's oakbridgewm_ANICETE. And join the winning team." It's been a minute since we talked about the seminary, so I got to know like a little bit more about your seminary experience. Because
man, the seminary, for one, you know, it's first time ever having an ice bath. That's the first thing. You know, I don't know about you, but at least for me, black people, you know, us and cold water don't mix that time. We had to hop in that tub, man. I was like, whoa! Like, hey, this is before Kevin Hart did the cold tub, right? He's doing that now. What's it, cold as balls, right? We had cold as balls before cold as balls went out. Do you remember that? Like, they brought in these with trash cans. I'm looking like, what we supposed to do? Just jump in that thing. I'm like, I don't know about that one. And
they brought in like horse troughs, and they would fill it with all ice, and you just jump in with your pads. Yeah, it was terrible. You basically take all your clothes off in outside, and then jump in this thing.
Jump in that thing, man. Yep. So,
but dude, Alex, you remember like you used to have to work out in your cleats in the middle.
Oh yeah. Had to work out in the cleats. Yeah, right in the middle of we're here doing lap pulls with everything on, and you know somebody got in trouble if they had their full equipment on. They're here doing a full equipment with their helmet and everything on. It's called, what's it called? Commandos or something like that? I forgot what it was called. But I'm like, oh, he must have been late or something like that. It's just like, yeah, man.
Dude, the seminary was hard.
It was. It was. Yep. We just seen each other all the time. You know, if they call something called camp eyes, where anything looks nice. Camp eyes. Like, man, I'm just seeing these dudes 24/7. I got to get out of here, man. I got to get out of here. But it was, like I said, man, those nights where us pranking jokes on each other and you guys, the older guys coming at the freshmen, it was a good time, man. The camaraderie and all that. You know, like I said, I enjoyed it, man.
So you get there, and
it's funny because
I was gonna say no, Bern.
Go ahead,
Bern. You got this.
No, I was just gonna say like that experience that's gone now.
Yeah,
you know, like we had this almost like military style boot camp of remember they would reset the counter, the practice clock if we screwed up.
Yep.
Coach Alvarez like, nope, start it over. Like, these are rules that you can't do this stuff. Were you there when it was like 150 degrees and all we got was like an ice pop in the middle of practice?
Some ice pops. Yeah. Talking about electrolytes, rehydrated. I was like, we gonna die.
He gave us an ice pop.
We gonna die. That's before they had all the regulations and everything like that. The regulations. Yeah, man, it was different. But like I said, man, it helped me to be who I was as far as later on in the league as well, man. Helped me to be who I was and the trainers and everybody. And even great players. Joe Thomas, I remember him being I think he was a freshman at the time, man. And I was like, this dude is different. I remember going against some one-on-one drills and, beating him one time, and coach was like, do it again, and him drive me to the ground. And I was like, this dude is a freshman. Like, so, playing against guys like that, Anthony Davis, all these guys, man. Being with Lee, training with Lee. Like, Lee got me to step my game up to another level. And let me tell you this. One of the main reasons why I came to Wisconsin was because of Lee. They turned this dude highlight tape on. And I remember they was like, all right, guys, have a seat. And they just played it. And this dude they played that song, I Need a Hero. And Lee was all over the field making catches. And I was like, who is this dude? Like, and then you see him in person, and you're like, this can't be the same guy. Like, his temperament is different, everything. But, Lee was actually hurt that first year. But the second year, going into the second year, I actually got to train with Lee. So me and Lee, we're training. He would pick me up. We would go to John Dedman's house. And John Det had this hill we used to run. Now, what's crazy is every single week, me and Lee would pick up like a different person. They would say they were going to come back, and they would never come back. I'm not going to say names. They know who they are. But we would pick one up, and they would throw up and be like, oh, I need this in my life. I got to come back next week. No show. Next guy, no show. And I hung out with Lee that whole summer, man, and just working with him, he helped to elevate my game to another level. You know what I mean? Seeing him come back from that knee injury, man, once again, it inspired me. So playing around guys like Lee and those guys, Scott Starks, you remember he was my roommate. Jonathan Orr, he lives 2 minutes from me now. Like, he was my roommate as well. So those guys, if you hang around people like that, it has nothing to do, but you're going to elevate your level, So, yeah, man, like, the football, the college experience was like none like no other. None like no other. That's why, like I said, I always say, people ask me about Wisconsin, I was like, man, I always have love for Wisconsin. Always love for Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez should be the next governor.
I don't think
he could probably win. He probably doesn't want the job.
He would win in a landslide, but he doesn't want those problems. He doesn't need those problems. He's too rich for those problems.
Yeah, he's good where he is. He's good where he is. But shout out to Barry Alvarez, man. Like,
I used to vote for him on random elections because I didn't know anybody. Like, who's going to be the treasurer of Wisconsin? I don't know. I'm here for like a couple years. I was like, Barry Alvarez.
Barry Alvarez.
And Mike Kleber got a lot of votes out of nowhere for no reason.
Mike Kleber. I remember him. Yeah, man. And just the games itself. Like us playing in that Ohio State game. You remember that? Where Lee caught that 99-yard pass. Ohio State they were undefeated for like a year or so, or 2 years.
A year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, so playing a game like that, fireworks going off, and just, things of playing against Purdue, So it's like, my experience at Wisconsin for only 2 years, man, it's memorable. I will never take one snap back, not at all. They made me earn everything they promised me. So they promised me that, but at the same time, I had to earn it. It was not given to me, and I respect it. So the same way, because it got me prepared for the league. And as you know, Matt, they don't give you anything in the league. The league is a dog-eat-dog world. Like, I've seen second-round draft picks get cut. So it's just, it gets you prepared for it. So same way, man, like I said, I'm always going to have love for the W.
So you show up and you get put in the Reach. What are your impressions? Who are you living with? And what is that first like couple weeks like feeling out process? Who are you hanging out with? Just like walk us through that.
Reach was different. Summertime is different, obviously, because it's summertime. Guys are just scrambling, finding a place to live, right? We're trying to sublease, right? So I got to meet some people. I got to, hang around like AD at the time, Anthony Davis. Shout out to AD. Meet big guys. Remember Big Los, Carlos? Let's see, who else? Got to meet Scott Starks for the first time. And then I met Jonathan Orr, all these guys, man. So all these guys were at the Reach at the time. And then I'm here rooming with like the freshmen because I'm an incoming junior. So I'm with the freshman guys like Brandon Williams, Brandon White. I think he does the receivers right now. I'm coaching a lot of receivers. man, doing this thing. So, bonding with the lower class guys and also being with the upper class. I'm like in the middle. I'm a hybrid. But man, it was awesome at the Regent, man. Like I said, my experience is different because man, it's almost like I went from sleeping on a little cot to now I'm in a Regent bed. I'm like, whoo, okay, I'm moving on up. I wake up in the morning, we cooking waffles downstairs. I had oodles and noodles for breakfast. I'm like, okay, I'm making waffles. They got this guy down there making eggs for you. I'm like, they don't know what they got. This is different. So like I said, it was a great experience, man. Roommate situation, like I said, I got to later on room with guys who I had a bond with, Jonathan Orr and Scott Starks, and these guys held me accountable in college, so I wouldn't act too wild and crazy, even though I did act wild and crazy sometimes. But the Regent, it was great, man. Regent was great, and then later on, got to move into what was that street with all the fraternities and stuff like that?
Langdon,
yep. So got to live down there. So we lived down there, and that's when I actually moved with Sparky and them guys. We call Scott Stark Sparky. And
we know.
Yeah, man.
We know.
Yeah, got to live with those guys. But we had some funny time. I could tell you about this. Oh, you guys about to laugh at this one. So this is not to be late to one of Detman's workouts. This is going into my senior year, right? Senior year. This is actually the last game or something. It's like bowl game time. And I'm here feeling myself, But at the same time, I still got to respect, obviously, you respect Det. I done seen Det break some guys, like some strong guys that were late, and all of a sudden they're doing like on a Stairmaster's full pads with a 45-pound plate over their head. Like some crazy stuff. So I'm like, I ain't messing with this guy. So, but me and Jonathan, we went out that night. Shout out Jonathan Orr. He remembers this day, man. And we woke up late. And this is like bowl game week, right? We're flying off. You remember that like the Fridays we had to put our hands in the sand. We were gripping rice, I guess, because they thought it'd make our grip stronger. So me and Jonathan, we just ran out of the house. And at that time, you remember we had to wear issue gear in the weight room? So we didn't even wear our issue gear. We were so late and so scared. Before we walked in that door, I just looked at Jonathan. I said, when it's all said and done, J.O., just act like we belong here and be cool. So I had on a wife beater. I had on like a wife beater tank top. We walk in the door and we just start going to work. I'm in the sand and stuff like that. And Daddy's just looking at us. He's looking at me like, is he on drugs? But he let me go that day. I remember, man. And I remember Jonathan was like, if I wasn't with you, I don't know what would have happened. I was like, yeah, I'm glad we made it through that. But yeah, man, just great experiences, man. Like I said, I'm always going to have Wisconsin. Like I said, I never regret going there, man. Not one bit. Not one bit.
So what's it like to work your way onto the field and start playing in front of 80,000 people? And then, dude, you got to walk us through. I mean, you hold the record for sacks in a game.
Yeah, man.
Which will never be touched again, I don't think.
So once again, my experience, like I said, I had to work for it, man. I had Broderick in front of me. Broderick was a running back converted to linebacker. So he was faster, fundamentally sound. Broderick did everything technically right. Broderick, I believe, would have been in the league. Just being honest with you, would have gotten a chance in the league. But unfortunately, he had that injury. Me, as you know, I was a little bit more wild. If a power was going one way, I might shoot the opposite gap and make the play, So I was more of a big-time playmaker who would mess up on assignments at times. I call it what it is. Broderick, if you wanted him in this gap, he was going to be in that gap. He was going to fill that full gap for that extra player, which, once again, that's the player you truly want. Me, like, me, I'm going to make a big play. At some point, a big play is going to happen. I don't know. I'm going to jump over somebody and do something crazy. So, it was difficult because one minute I'm getting praised. Next minute, they're like, you're not in your assignment. Why are you in deep halves? And you're
You
supposed
did
to
get
be
yelled at a lot. You got yelled at a lot, dude.
He said, why are you playing deep halves and you supposed to be playing the flats? I'm like, Coach, I saw that back there. I'm like, they're like, that's why you got a safety. I know, but listen. So, but you got to understand, I came from JUCO. JUCO, they let me do whatever I wanted. JUCO, if I wanted to drop back all the way and play half the field, I did. So I went from doing whatever I wanted to now I had to play in a system. You understand? So it was a learning curve, which Wisconsin taught me eventually. But still, like I said, I had my mental lapse where I did certain things and I got yelled at. And then sometimes I took those chances worked out. So, but it was definitely it was a learning curve. You know, it was difficult at times, but in the end, once again, it got me ready for the NFL, where the NFL is like, you better be in this gap. If you're not in that gap, you won't have a job. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was different, man. Very different.
So what was your relationship like with Coach Kaz? Like, describe your relationship with Coach Kaz.
Love, hate. Now I love Coach. It's crazy because me and Coach Kaz, we talked on the phone. We talked, I think like a year ago, me and him talked, and he was like, oh, Al, I love you, man. Like, he always say, I love you, Al, love you. But at times, like, if I didn't do right, he'd tell me. And he knew how to motivate me. He knew how to get to my psyche. He would mess me up and make me mad and make me want to go harder. He knew if he say, like, why did I bring you here? Like, it would make me upset, and it would unlock that monster inside for a second, you know? And at the same time, he knew how to give me praise and bring me back. Like, hey, after the game, man, he'd hug me. It was a loss. Remember, we lost to Purdue that year. I got 6 sacks or something. Gave me a hug. He's like, man, I love you, man. Like, hey, you did great. His wife came over and hugged me. You know, so he had that family atmosphere, but he knew how to turn it up, too, to get the best out of you. You know, so Coach Kaz, like I said, he helped form me into a Big Ten linebacker, which I was not a Big Ten linebacker. If a fullback was coming at me, I feel like I can make the play without knocking my head off. I'm going to jump over this guy and tackle the guy. Like, why am I going to waste my body? But he made me understand, look, you got to fill this gap for the other player. If you don't do that, this puzzle's not going to work together. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he helped me. He was very instrumental on helping me in the defensive scheme at Wisconsin at the time.
And so, speaking of that scheme, you guys were running a 4-3 at the time. You're playing outside backer, and you look at what they're running now in a 3-4. And do you ever think, my goodness, the work I could have put in as a 3-4 outside linebacker, a la Nick Herbig, a la Andrew Van Ginkel?
Hey, like I said, I'd have been all over the place, man. And even not just that, when they obviously when they brought Billman in, Billman was very good with smaller linebackers. Like Jonathan, what's his name? Jonathan Casillas, right? All those guys.
Yep, Casillas.
Levy, he was great. I remember Billman when he came in. We was actually going, we're going to see LeBron James play for the first time. We're on a party bus, right? And Billman was like, I wish I had you 1 year. Wish I had you 1 year. Oh, man, you would have been an all-star. And I'm like, man, this guy don't know I really didn't know who he was. He knew what he was talking about, though. Billman knew defense, you know? He really I think he came from Kansas State at the time. And he had small linebackers. Those small linebackers were making plays. You know what I mean? So he did good with them, man. He did real well with the defensive schemes and so forth. I followed that at the time.
So, Alex, I got to bring up one time in spring ball. You mentioned we hit each other.
Yeah.
My recollection is it was a counter, and I came around the corner, and I did not expect you that quickly to be there.
I remember that play.
I'm not going to curse, but you effing drilled me so hard my helmet popped off.
I remember that.
My mouthpiece flew out.
Hey, I remember that.
I blacked out. I browned out. I blacked out. And I got up off the ground. I ran back. And Coach White's like, dude, where's your helmet? And I was like, oh, I looked around. It was like on the ground. They're like, dude.
I remember Coach White. Hey, what are you doing? AD. Remember Coach, shout out Coach White, man. I remember Coach White.
Dude, that's the hardest I've ever been hit. And I don't think anyone's ever been hit harder in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
ever.
man. Like I said, we all giving them and we taking them. Trust me. Both you guys giving them to me as well, doing them powers and all that stuff. Like I said, you got me ready for the league. I remember, man, playing against guys like you. I remember being in the league, playing against the Texans. And I ran up, hit this guy. Boom! And I was like, man, this dude, he is like a rock. And he's laughing at the bottom of the pile. Like, and I look up, it's Ron Dane. I'm like, I just tackled Ron Dane. And he's laughing. He knew who I was, too. It was funny, man. He's like he was a bowling ball, man. Dane, shout out Dane. He's from Jersey, too, man.
Dude, the fullback at the Lions was good.
Yep. Yeah, he was real good. He wound up going to the Pro Bowl.
He was a beast. He played for like 15 years.
Yep. I remember him, man. I remember when he first started, he wasn't even like that. He just worked at it and worked at it. Got better and better, man.
He was a nice guy to me. I had a good time learning from him.
Yeah.
Although, like, then I got hurt and then it was over.
Yeah.
But, dude, the NFL really has no sympathy for anybody.
Nah, not for long. Hey, not for long.
Not for long. No fun league. It was very, but it was fun to be, it's fun to be part of that team because you had Dominic Raiola.
Me and Raiola used to go at it, man. Raiola. Yep. Me and Raiola used to go at it. He used to talk trash. We played with his brother. I felt like his brother, we got a dose of his brother, but I got the real, like, Raiola, like, he's no joke. You know what I mean? He was the real deal. He's a type that he's coming for you and coming yep. Each game,
Dominic walked up to me at practice with the Lions and was like, hey, Bernie, watch this. I'm just going to get into a fight.
That's how he is. That's Raiola. Yep.
For no reason. And he just got into fights all the time. And the coaches were so mad because that was such a waste of time.
Yeah.
But he did it. He just didn't care.
It's crazy is I met Raiola in college, right? So I was in my room. And, no, I wasn't in my room. I actually went to somebody else's room. And it was Raiola and I think Owen. He was the center for the Bears.
Owen Cruz.
Cruz?
Cruz. Yeah. So it was after a game. We was having a good time, right? And I go in there, and Rayola's brother was in there, and I said something like funny, and the dude, I had a funny hat on. And I think it was Owen. He's like, man, take that. Yeah, I think he cursed at me. And I was like, man, who are you? And look, and I started getting mad, but I didn't realize who these two dudes were. I was like, I was in over my head. But yeah, that's the first time I got to meet Raiola. And then, man, just Raiola, he was good to me as well, man, being in the league. These guys, like I said, first class in what they do, how he worked. Raiola, man, how he took care of his body. That's how he played so long,
Mm-hmm. So, Alex, I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
And then I'll let Matt Perkins finish it off. But, dude, you went from breaking your femur to junior college, to almost quitting football totally, junior college, to then Wisconsin and then the pros. How great does that feel that you were able to accomplish so much through a sport? Like, what does that mean to you?
To me, honestly, that's why I never have no regrets. I feel like every level I'm grateful for. Now, some people, they like, oh, the league, this and that. I'm like, man, it's like with me, I got more than what I thought I was going to get. And I'm grateful. I'm full. I'm content. That's why I have no regrets as far as at Wisconsin. Of course, everybody wants to be this Pro Bowler, this and that. But the league treated me well. Wisconsin treated me well. Junior college treated me well. High school taught me what I was going to go through and gave me the tools I needed to overcome obstacles. So for each level, I just enjoyed the ride. I buckled up and I said, it's time to go. And out of each level, I met a lot of good people, A lot of good experiences. Being at Wisconsin, you know, we went to Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, we
Mhm.
went down, I think it was like the Mandalay Bay, and, you know, just seeing all these different experiences, man. You know, Coach Alvarez used to bring us in that room Thursday nights and talk to us before the games. Like, talks about the no-namers. Remember that? He was like, the
Mhm.
no-namers. We had no names on our jerseys. Like I got to experience that. Like, some of these players, they will never get that. But I could say,
Sure.
man, we used to have those Friday night movies. Remember, we used to go to movies and watch a movie every Friday night and rent out the whole movie theater. Like, man,
Mhm.
they really like I said, my ride, I can't speak for other people, but at least my ride, I'm grateful for every moment, every person I met, and every experience.
That's incredible. And now you are training more athletes and training more people. I saw
Hey, I'm
the
training athletes. That's exactly
yeah,
athletes.
I saw the
I'm training
Detroit
moms.
I saw the Detroit News video of you when you were at the Mayweather boxing
Yo, it started at
gym.
Mayweather, baby. Yep.
Mayweather, and now you've got your own gym. Talk to us about your quickly. We don't have a ton of time left. Talk to us quickly about your post NFL journey from linebacker to gym owner.
All right. It's before that, though. I'm going to make it fast. I went from playing in NFL last year, started dibbling in boxing, wound up becoming a Golden Gloves champ. So I actually fought in the Golden Gloves. And then after that, I had my first pro boxing match. Fought at the Motor City Casino, second round knockout. That's on my Instagram page. Want to check it out, Alex Lewis Fitness. It's on there, baby. But so then after that, Jonathan Orr actually put my name in for a resume for a trainer. I never thought about being a trainer. They called me back, you know, killed the interview, and man, I started teaching moms how to box. So it's like, and I'm still doing it today. Like, instead of like, you know, but I keep the football mindset. I'm like, you gotta dig. I'm like, fourth quarter. I'm not fourth quarter. I meant to say, I'm like, so it's like, I go back to that football mindset, and they love it. You know what I mean? And, you know, everybody's looking for that competitive mindset and that encouragement. And that's what I'm doing, man. I do that here in Michigan now. The gym is called The Blender. I'm mixing it up. Boxing, fitness, kids fitness, and everything, man.
How does it feel?
That's so cool.
How does it feel to be where you are right now at this phase
Man,
of the journey?
I'm grinding, man. Like I said, I'm treating myself like I haven't had a meal and I'm hungry. You know, I'm trying to get more.
All right.
Like I said, one speed, baby.
Well, we'll get you out of here with some rapid fire questions then. First of all, biggest physical freak you went up against at Wisconsin? Not named Bernie.
Besides this guy right here at fullback, it gotta be.
Couldn't be me.
Obviously, Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas is a freshman. Yep.
Who could push the most weight in the weight room while you were there?
Woo, man! For me, I was impressed with Broderick. This dude was from Texas, homegrown, squatting. You know what I mean? Big dude. I don't really remember his bench press, but the squat was off the chart. Physical freak. Remember Kareem Timbers? You know, he was more like a cut-up guy, like fast, running a 4.4 as a linebacker. You know what I mean? Like guys like that.
It's Saturday night in Madison. You've just beat Minnesota. Where are you going?
To the KK, baby. But I probably would just go to my room, man. But I know the KK was big. Or was it Brothers or Brats? What was it?
It's Brothers was big, Brats was big, Wando's,
that burger, baby. That Wando's burger.
Oh man, you bring up Brothers. I missed that place. That was like a 15 or 10 cent wing night.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh,
but I used to remember Wando's burgers. I used to go there for that burger, man. That Wando's burgers. Yeah, I remember that.
They were $2 burgers at the time on Mondays.
And then they had
we take over the whole place.
Yep. Or it was an all-you-can-eat bacon or something like that. I don't know why.
Yep.
Wednesday nights.
Yep.
All you bacon. Yep.
Tuesday nights. Sorry, Tuesday nights. Because we didn't have to work out on Wednesdays. I remember waking up feeling like crap every time because we would eat so much bacon there that you just sweat it out on a Wednesday.
Definitely, man.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Welcome to the NFL. One of them was Rayola. Rayola was like, "You too small. You too small." And I'm like, man, this dude won't leave me alone. Too small. Yep, man. Yep. I remember that in camp with Rayola.
And then I'll get you, the last one here. Favorite stadium you played in, not Camp Randall, either in the league or in college?
Man, it got to be Iowa. I remember Iowa. This old lady was talking trash to us, and then I remember it was our D line coach at the time. Forgot his name, man. His son played too. O-line. Palermo. He was like, "Sit down, old lady," and the old lady just sat down like she was just quiet. Either there, I don't know if you remember our West Virginia. Everybody gave us the finger everywhere we went. Everybody just gave us the finger, man. Wherever we went,
everywhere the bus drove by.
Like, it made me hype. Like, okay, you want to give me the finger? Like, so yeah, man.
Dude, people were mooning us. Yep. It was bad it was bad there,
and it was crazy. Yep,
it was crazy. That was a fun stadium to play in. That was to me, it was really cool.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yo, Alex, man, thank you for coming on. This was so fun.
Man, it's been a blast, man. Like I said, you guys, Matt, look at Matt and Matt. Y'all know I'm gonna call y'all Eminem, baby. Eminem. keep doing what y'all doing, man. Like I said, I enjoy the content, what you guys doing. You caught my interest. And like I said, I'm just swiping across stuff. But I was like, let me check this out. I saw an interview with, my man Brian Calhoun. And I was like, man, I can dig this, man. So keep doing what y'all doing, man, and like you keep bringing that hot content. And on with content.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we will keep doing that. We're gonna have to have you back. We're working on getting Kaz this summer on the show, and as well as Coach Brian White. So that should be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of other.
What are you doing, AD? What are you doing?
So that'll be a lot of fun. Oh, that'll be fantastic. Anyway, we appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag and our friends at Oak Bridge Wealth Management. And until next time,
on Wisconsin.
Let's go.
Oh, I only got one phone on my cell phone, so on Wisconsin. Go, that's the NFL finger right there.